Hey there, Gina here with Here Comes the Bride and Here Comes the Bride Pro. I started Here Comes the Bride over 20 years ago with absolutely no business experience and no business education, and I turned it into a thriving and successful high multi-six-figure bridal beauty agency. And now I'm thrilled to be able to help you, the stylist, take your passion for what you love and turn it into a lucrative career, because it's not enough just to do good hair and makeup. You really need to know the foundations of how to build a business, how to create a brand, how to market, all of the things besides the hair and makeup that it really takes to make you successful. So I'm so excited. In this mini course, I'm going to walk you through the same formula that I've used, although it's even been upgraded over the years to really stay current with what's going on now, because we are in a startup surge where, you know, there's more businesses than ever. The market is more competitive than ever. So again, I've really even fine-tuned my formula to make it very relevant for today and to give you all of the tools that you need to succeed. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So let's go over some of the takeaways from this video. I'm going to show you how to stand out from the competition, attract and book your ideal bride, stop getting shopped on price. There's a very specific reason why brides are shopping you on price. Stop convincing brides to book with you. Again, there's a reason why you're having to work so hard to convince brides to book with you. Show you how to streamline your business and the importance of building a foundation for growth. So before we get started, a little tough love truth bomb here. There is no quick fix. I really want to be your fairy godmother and tell you that even this stuff you're watching in this video is going to instantly transform your business. Of course, the information in this video is very important, but there is no quick fix. There is no secret formula. There is no magic bullet.
Oh, I wish it was that easy.
The bottom line is it's hard work. It takes commitment, determination, focus, patience, and resilience. So I've had the great fortune of being able to build several successful six-figure businesses in my career, not just Here Comes the Bride and Here Comes the Bride Pro, but other businesses as well. And people do ask me what kind of my secret to success is. Now, of course, marketing and visibility and systems and all of those things are important elements, but these things listed here are really at the heart of being a true entrepreneur, because it's not a success only journey. You have to really make that commitment, that determination, have that focus and that patience, and more than anything else, to get over those speed bumps, to pick yourself up and dust yourself off, you really need to have a lot of resilience to be a successful entrepreneur. So if you're interested in joining our elite network of stylists, this is just very few of our hundreds of really successful stylists that we have in our membership program. You can check this out. I'll give you a little bit more information at the end of this video. But not only do we have some great business guidance and resources, but we've also got some beauty education, access to wholesale accessories. We have access to a really exciting and exclusive our Bridal Stylist Pro system, which is a system that's going to allow you to collect, manage, and organize all of your weddings, brides, and trials. And we also offer something that's very unique and different than anything you'll find out there. Because of our strong standing in the industry, we are able to offer you some great visibility and exposure for your business on our very popular website, blog, hair inspiration galleries, and of course our social media. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And let's go ahead and jump in and start talking about the foundation. So everything starts, of course, with your work, hair, makeup, also your ability to assess a client's needs and your professionalism. Because the industry is so oversaturated, so competitive, all of this stuff really does have to be on point. And if you're not the best, you need to be working towards becoming the best. So I understand if maybe you're just starting out, tough out there with all the competition. But again, just the bottom line is do the work. Your friends, your family, do free work if you need to, styled shoots, buy a really great doll head or mannequin, and build your portfolio. So another little truth bomb, tough love truth bomb here. brides have more options than ever before. You can't do mediocre work and expect to dominate. If you are just starting out and you think that not having enough photos of your work or clientele is an excuse for not having beautiful work, I wanted to show you a couple really popular, amazing Instagram feeds. This one is almost exclusively doll heads. She's about half and half. She's got some real clients on here. And then these next two, again, incredibly popular platforms. And he uses exclusively doll heads. And look how gorgeous that work is. And then one more. Again, exclusively doll heads and mannequins. So she even has some links here for mannequins if you need to get a couple really great mannequins to show off your work. Again, not having the clientele, not having a portfolio is not an excuse. So let's talk about what it takes to rise above the competition. Basically, what it comes down to is creating a unique and compelling brand that clearly articulates who you are and what you are all about. And what that starts with is asking yourself, who am I? Who am I in the industry? What's my unique selling position? What's unique that I have to offer? Who am I? Who are my people? Who is your ideal client? What makes me unique? And probably the most important question, why should someone choose me over anyone else? You need to be able to clearly, concisely, and confidently answer that question. Why should someone choose me over anyone else? So it really comes down to quality plus consistency. And a bride should be able to know immediately what you are all about. So I'm going to give you a few examples here. Now, this first example that I'm going to show you is something that I see a lot. And this can be an example of an Instagram feed or a website portfolio. Very inconsistent, not the best quality. I really don't know what this person's all about. There's some images here that are kind of a little more modern and minimalistic. There's some images that look really outdated. There's some that are glamorous. There's some hair that's okay, some that's not. So there's really not a whole lot of quality or consistency to these images. And this is really telling a story to your bride about what you're all about. So let's look at this compared to a few more examples. Something like this, I look at this stylist and I'm like, okay, I have a definite idea of what this person's all about and what their style is all about. And if you are just starting out and maybe you don't have all of these high quality images, again, do those styled shoots, get your friends and family, go online, even on Shein or something, and get some dresses and take some photos on your phone. But until you can do that, I've already shown you some feeds that have some really beautiful photos with doll heads. So do whatever you can. Consistency is so important, consistency and quality. And let's look at one more here. Again, when I look at these images, I know exactly what this stylist is all about. So I also wanted to show you a few of our clients, some websites that we've done that again just kind of illustrates how a brand should be cohesive, consistent, and quality work, all really high quality images. This stylist is really known for kind of a glamorous look, really using all her hooks and taglines and everything here. And we've got another client who is very high-end editorial, so she's got kind of a very minimalistic look to her brand. And then finally, one more that kind of goes in a different direction that's really fun and boho. And you can see where when you come to these websites, you really know what this company is all about. You really get a sense of their vibe, their aesthetic. And again, you can tell just from looking at them exactly what they are all about. So let's talk about a little bit about your ideal client. So everything really should revolve around that ideal client. And how I like for you to start to think about this, obviously, sit down and think about who she is, create that avatar. But I think this little tip is helpful if you start out by thinking of what are three adjectives that best describe her. So I'm going to give you some examples here. Maybe it's clean, minimal, affluent, effortless, beachy glamour, bold, sexy alternative, dramatic, glamorous princess, trendy, boho, edgy. So you can see by looking at all of these different brides how different they actually are and how you would need to tailor your marketing, your images, everything about your brand to appeal to this very specific bride. Now let's take it one step further. And I like for you to start to think about what three things are most important to her. So let's go ahead and take those same examples. Maybe our first bride, the products that you use are very important. The experience, she really is more affluent. So she's looking for that kind of high-end luxury experience, and maybe status is very important to her. So she's not going to be someone that's going to be budget shopping. She's going to be really looking for the best of the best. Our next bride, maybe it's ease. Maybe she's really into social media and being popular. So those Instagram photos, being really up on the styles is going to be important to her. Our bold bride is into taking risks, self-expression, and uniqueness. Our princess bride is really into convenience and efficiency and service. She wants to be tailored to because she's a princess. She doesn't have time to mess around. She's a princess. And then finally, our boho bride is very into trends, inclusion, and maybe being eco-friendly is very important. So maybe those products that are eco-friendly. So think about that. Think about your ideal client. Think about that ideal bride. What are those three adjectives and what three things are most important to her? And then from that information, you're going to craft your message. Everything you do should resonate and connect with your ideal bride. That's what it means to create that clear and compelling brand. So, your website, your social media, your images, your content, your hooks, your taglines, your copy, everything should resonate and connect you with your ideal bride. And bottom line is that it all comes down to trust. If you can show your brides that you know who they are, you know what's important to them, you know what their pain points and fears are, you will gain their trust. If you're not able to clearly show them that, you know who they are, you know what's important to them, and you understand their concerns, then bottom line is what you're doing is if you are trying to be everything to everyone, then you just blend into the crowd. And then what happens is that trust levels become equal. And when all factors are equal, including trust, of course brides are going to choose based on cost. So I want you to imagine if you were buying a new car. You went to go shop for your car, and all you had to choose from were blue Camrys. That is exactly what it's like for your bride. So they're going out there and they're looking for their hair and makeup. Every website looks the same. All the work looks the same. All the hooks and taglines are played out generic. We'll make you look like you, only better. Or your most beautiful, your most unforgettable day. Boring. That does not connect you and resonate with your ideal client. That is your blue Camrys. That is everyone out there doing and saying and looking exactly the same. Now compare that to these different options. Now it's not about them being high-end or luxury. I know I chose high-end luxury cars. Maybe there's a pickup truck on here. It's just about being different. It's about giving the bride that option of stylist that specializes in minimalist looks, that stylist that specializes in boho brides. It's really all about going from everyone else and this is you. It's about standing up and being unique. There's going to be a different person that's interested in that convertible BMW or that Range Rover or that Tesla or that pickup truck or that Volkswagen Beetle, whatever it is. The point is that it's all about being unique. It's all about resonating with that ideal client. So another tough love truth bomb. Not only are clients looking for signs they can trust you, they're also looking for signs why they shouldn't trust you. Now, this is typically not done consciously, but they're basically looking, when they're looking at your website, they're looking at your social media, subconsciously they're like, where's my person? Where's my person? I'm looking for my person. Do they get me? Do they get me? Are they going to be able to do what I want? Are they going to be able to meet my needs? Are they going to be able to solve my problems? So that being said, you're really only as good as your worst piece of content. So what I mean by that is, let's imagine that majority of your work or your marketing message or everything is appealing to a certain clientele. And then you've got content on there that is inconsistent. That's going to be a red flag to a bride, that they're like, ooh, shoot. Okay, wait a minute. I thought this was my person, but now I'm confused. And if you confuse them, you lose them. So it kind of goes back to, again, that consistency and that quality. And really the end goal is, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly who she is. And I know exactly why my ideal client should choose me over anyone else. That is the most important. Again, confidently saying to yourself, I know what I bring to the table. I know exactly why my ideal client should choose me over anyone else. Then what happens is it goes from having to try to convince brides to book with you to actually being able to educate them and show them that you know who they are.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
So now you've gotten really clear on what it takes to stand out above the competition and really resonate and connect with that ideal client. Let's talk about your systems. So this is your policies, your procedures, systems, and automation. So what is a system? A system is basically, how do I get from point A to point B? So it's all the steps from when an interested bride contacts you to when she books with you. And then when she books with you, till the wedding day. And then after the wedding day, maybe following up for that Google review or following up with photographers for photos. So it's all the steps, everything that it takes to run your business. And what you need to do is write all of that out. So you've maybe got an interested bride system, you've got a booked bride system, you've got a social media system, you've got a marketing system. Everything in your business should have a system. And then you just go through and you break it down. And for every single step, you ask yourself, how can I systematize this? How can I automate it? And then also, if you're interested in growing your business, you need to ask yourself, is it scalable? So is what I'm doing now, is that going to work if my business were to double or triple? Is it going to work if I'm doing 100 brides a year or 200 brides a year or 500 brides a year and beyond? Is it scalable? Is it teachable? So the goal of having something be scalable is that you want to be able to teach people to do it. You want to be able to teach an office manager or a virtual assistant. Eventually, you want to get away from doing the mundane tasks, the day-to-day tasks of your business. Because even if you systematize and automate it, there are still certain things you need to do. So again, you want it to be scalable if you want to grow, teachable, and if you want it to be scalable and teachable, then it should be documented. So wherever you're at in your business, I strongly suggest that you create a Google Doc and create a company manual and just start writing this stuff down. Maybe you're not at a point right now to hire someone to help you, but hopefully that will happen in the near future. So when it does, if you've got all of these systems written down and documented, then they're going to be more easily teachable. Bottom line is, you want to adopt the motto, this is how we do it here. It's really about not reinventing the wheel. So of course, you're going to maybe tweak some of your systems as you grow, but for the most part, you really want them to be, as much as possible, a set it and forget it. And you want everything to be consistent. You don't want to be making up policies and procedures as you go. You don't want to be making up systems as you go. This is how we do it here.
It's so organized.
So I wanted to quickly show you some of the most popular systems that you might want to check out. So we've got Dubsado, we've got Honeybook, and we've got 17 Hats. And then finally, of course, we have our Bridal Stylist Pro. This is our own exclusive system that we created. And the thing that's really cool about this system, two things that are really cool. Number one, there is a way for you to organize your hair and makeup trials. This is actually the only system that's designed specifically for the bridal stylist. The other thing that's super cool about this is that it is actually included free with your Here Comes the Bride Pro membership. So definitely check that out and see if that's for you. But I would recommend, of course, just, go through, see how each of these systems work, and see how they can work to help keep your business organized. So now that you've created that compelling brand, now that you are working on getting your systems in order, let's talk about visibility. To a certain extent, it is a numbers game. However, don't play the numbers game until you know when and how to play. And probably the most important point in this is that you need to get your brand and your systems on point. So let me go over a few examples here. Let's say, for instance, that you get out there and you start marketing and trying to gain visibility and your brand is not on point. What's going to happen is you're just going to end up wasting time, wasting money, because yeah, you're getting people to your website, you're getting people to your social media, but they're not taking action. They're not booking a consultation. They're not booking your services because you haven't done your job to articulate to them exactly why they should book with you. And again, creating that compelling brand that resonates with your ideal client. So that's what's going to happen if you get out there and start trying to market without your brand being on point. And if you find that that's what's happening, if you're like, gosh, I've got all these interested brides, but no one's pulling the trigger, then that's what you need to work on. So let's say, for instance, now let's use another example that maybe you've got your brand on point, or let's say maybe you got really lucky and you've got a lot of referrals coming in and you don't have your systems on point. What's going to happen then, and you may find yourself in this situation, is that you are going absolutely crazy in your business. You're going crazy trying to keep up with everything, all the emails and the follow-ups and the contracts. And God forbid you have a team, if this is you, because then you're trying to organize all the team. You're going to go crazy. So again, so important to get those systems on point so that you're ready for that growth. You're ready for that marketing and that visibility to pay off. So let's talk about your marketing. And I want to simplify this for you because I know a lot of people are very overwhelmed and confused with marketing. So basically, marketing is going to come under one of three umbrella categories. So you've got content, you've got outreach, and you've got advertising. Examples of content would be things like your social media, blog posts, content marketing. So that's when, like, hey, sign up for my free report and get their email, or video. So something like this that I'm doing, this is content marketing. I'm creating this video for you with this valuable information, and it's a way for me to just get to know you, for you to get to know me. So that's an example of content marketing. Outreach would be things like your bridal shows, networking, working with vendors, maybe reaching out to planners or photographers, and then joint ventures. So joint ventures would be something like working with maybe an accessory company, or if you don't offer facial services, working with an esthetician and doing some kind of joint venture together. But it's basically any kind of one-on-one that you're reaching out to people to potentially bring in more business. And then, of course, advertising, your social media, your Google, the Knot and Wedding Wire. And of course, I had to put the Here Comes the Bride Pro on there. So that's anywhere that you're going to pay to get more visibility and exposure. So let's talk about the key to effective marketing. It really all starts with choosing a strategy. So choose one of those things, and then typically that's going to be based on your goals and your resources. So for instance, your strategy might be different. If you've got a lot of brides coming in and you're just looking to grow your business, you can maybe play the long game with some of your marketing strategies, as opposed to, I need to pay my bills, I need some money coming in right now. Your strategy might be a little different. Same thing with your resources. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing, then you're going to do things like, content marketing or outreach, as opposed to if you've got a little bit of money to spend, then you're going to maybe work on creating some social media ads or some Google advertising. So you want to choose a strategy and then you want to perfect it. And this is really all about trial and error. You've got to work on this stuff. It's not going to always work the first time. So I have a lot of clients that I work with, obviously, with their marketing. And I'll ask them, have you tried social media ads? They're like, oh, yeah, that doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, explain to me a little bit what you did. Oh, I just tried boosting some posts, or I put on a social media ad and I just didn't get anything from it. And I'm like, well, did you do some trial and error? Did you try different demographics? Did you try different images? No, it just didn't work for me. So you got to work on this stuff. You've really got to put in the time and do some trial and error to really perfect it. Once you perfect it, then you can duplicate it. Then you can expand it. So if that Google ad is working, then maybe you put more money into that campaign, or you do more keywords, or you duplicate it with some other keywords. So once you choose a strategy, you perfect it, then you duplicate it, get that strategy running like a well-oiled machine. If you take the time in the beginning to really do that trial and error with that marketing, then you don't have to really be so worried about your marketing. You're going to figure out what works. And again, you're for the most part going to set it and forget it. You may want to tweak it and really keep your eye on the numbers. But again, you're not going to have to go through and reinvent the wheel again. So once you duplicate that specific strategy, then you just start again and choose another strategy. No surprise here, another tough love truth bomb. You can't half-ass this stuff. And the way that I see most people half-ass it is that they're trying to do too many things at once. Their focus is so scattered. It's like, I'm going to work on social media and I'm going to do these blog posts and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, instead of taking the time to really perfect that one thing. Now, maybe you can be working on a couple different things at once, but to just have so much energy all over the place, you're not going to be able to do something effectively. It's going to be guaranteed that you're going to be half-assing it. So really it takes time and patience to get it right. So again, really take that time and perfect those marketing strategies. Now the fun part, let's talk about business growth. This is what everyone's always so interested in. Really the bottom line with growth in your business is that it will happen organically if you have a trustworthy, efficient, and visible business. So you don't really need to be quote unquote focusing on growth too much. What you need to be focusing on is, oh, I forgot the Y on trustworthy, is you need to be focusing on creating that brand. That's what creates that trustworthy business. You need to be working on those systems. That's what creates that efficiency. And then really fine tuning your marketing. Once you have all three of those things on point, then the growth will happen organically. And typically, demand is going to dictate growth. So typically, the best way for a business to grow is that you're going to know that, like, hey, I'm booked every single weekend. I think I can probably raise my prices. Or if you're interested in expanding, then hey, instead of raising my prices, I'm going to look into building a team. Or if you find that you're traveling way outside your location, maybe it's time to expand locations. Or maybe you have a lot of people asking you about other services, then maybe it's time to diversify. So really look at the demand, look at what clients are asking for, and that should really dictate your growth. So another tough love truth bomb here. If you want to be a leader in the industry, it's not enough to be a good stylist and throw up a website. You have to make the commitment. You've got to educate yourself. You've got to seek solutions. You've got to take risks. You've got to do the work. You've got to keep your eye on the prize.
I know that this is going to sound corny, but I believe in you.
So I hope this information was helpful. Again, if you want to join our elite network of stylists, you can go on our site and read some of our testimonials. Here's a little bit more information. I won't go into it too much. There is a video on our website. But again, you get that full listing on Here Comes the Bride website. You get a listing. You get your work rather featured on our hairstyle galleries and blog, an educator listing if you do offer education. marketing on our Here Comes the Bride social. We've got over 34,000 on our Here Comes the Bride page and 38,000, over 38,000 at this point on our Here Comes the Bride Pro. You get use of that Bridal Stylist Pro system, business resources and education. We have a monthly mastermind. There's beauty education, wholesale accessories. So really so many tools and resources to help you start, run, and grow a successful business. So thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And again, I hope this information was useful, and I wish you nothing but the absolute best in your journey to become a leader in the bridal beauty industry.